So when we're talking about the back bracing of your parlor guitar, we're talking about 3 pieces of wood, which are going to go across the back. So this is a triple O, but similar to this. These are back braces. So it's not as wide, so only 3 on a parlor. But when you're making it, we're not worried about length yet. First thing is, most luthiers and guitar builders will tell you want quarter saw bracing, which means your grain is going up and down straight. Not always doable, but if you can. So right now, our rough size for our 3 braces is going to be 3/8 of an inch wide, or the thickness of a piece, and 3/4 tall. So we'll take some rough stock spruce, cut it down to this size to make our 3 back braces for our parlor guitar. So we have our back braces roughly cut the length. So reminder, they are 3/8 thick, 3/4 tall, and then they match the rough length that we measured on our back. Now, I have my back here next to the 15-foot dish because when we look at our guitar back, not only is it going to curve this way, but it's going to curve this way, much like the dish. So when I take this, and I'm going to line this up here, kind of in line there. Middle one will use that part of the dish, and the bottom one will use that part of the dish. You can see the compound curve that's happening. Not only this way, but it's going to have this slight curve that way. Same with this one. The one in the middle will be pretty much curved just side to side. Also notice I'm wearing gloves because if my hands rub against the abrasive paper, it won't hurt. The bottom of the brace, I have a Sharpie line because this is spruce. If I was using some darker, you could use chalk. And I want to try and concentrate on keeping this piece straight up and down. That way that complex curve will happen correctly. So I'm just going to try and go back and forth. And you can see the Sharpie starting to disappear or almost all gone. And now, as I look at it from this angle, you should see a slight curve this way. But then if I turn it this way, we definitely see a curve going that way. So I'll do that to all 3 pieces, and then these will be ready to glue onto my back in the Go Bar deck. So we have our 3 back braces dished. And when you're in the dish, you need to keep track of which way it faces because of that complex curve. So I'm going to start with the middle one. And I have an arrow pointing towards the top of the guitar, towards the neck, I should say. So I'm going to take some of my glue and put some on here. And it's worth spreading it out because this part of the guitar you definitely can see when you look inside. So we want to be conscious of how much squeeze out we have. We don't want a lot. So now I'm going to line it up and try and get it that the brace has about equal amounts left to right. And also I'm on that perpendicular line that I drew earlier. So now I'm going to take one of my Go Bars and I'm going to put it in the center and then work my way out. In my mind, that seems to make sense. Try that again. Now, I figure you might be able to do 3, but I like the idea of doing 5. Because again, I feel like the more steady pressure I have on there, the better. right, so I have a little bit of squeeze out. So, one of the tricks we can do is take a toothbrush and some water and scrub that area. And you might say, well, you can't see this, but extra glue is going to harden the wood and you'll have less vibration there. So it might be something not noticeable, but the more conscious you are of things and cleaner and all that stuff, kind of the better. Now, if you also had a little bit sticking out, sometimes I'll come in with a chisel and just kind of scrape that, and then of course make sure I clean off the chisel then too. So next, bottom one and the top one, then we leave it in here overnight to dry.